Welcome again to QSO 321 People, Planet, and Profit. And this is the third lecture on process analysis. And this time we're going to discuss about flowcharts or the use of flowcharts to identify problems in the process and see how problem can be resolved. So we will use flowchart to show steps that will be taken. So we're going to look at a number of examples. So the next step is to show how we can create flowcharts to identify a problem and also to show how the problem can be solved. Now we need to identify a number of symbols that we can use in our flowchart, and then we'll look at a number of examples. So we are going to use arrow, and the arrow will connect the nodes, and we're going to see to use a number of nodes. One is the oval, and that is to start and also to end the flowchart. We'll use the oval for that purpose. And then we're going to have activity or process. So we're going to use this symbol for that, and then we are going to use this symbol for decisions, and then this will be used to represent data. And for the data, we can have inputs, or also we can have output. And then we can have preparation. So that symbol will be for prep or preparation. We can have a symbol for documents. Let me do this. So that's document or documentation, and there are many symbols that we can use for the flowchart, but at this moment we are going to focus on only this. But if it happens that we have an example that will require more of this, then I will bring in those symbols that we can use. So the next is for us to create to start creating the flowchart, and we need to have a problem that we need to identify, and we're going to go with one example, which is lamp. And so lamp does not work. So in this case, we are going to focus on a problem and see how that problem, or see the process of solving this problem. So let's see, if the lamp is not working, what should we do? And that's how we're going to create the flowchart. So in this case, to identify this problem and be able to solve it, then we can start our flowchart. Start with the oval. Always remember, oval will be to start the flowchart or to end. And so we have the beginning and we have also the end. And then we have the arrow. And so arrow will be used to connect the nodes, and so we can create the arrow. And the next thing, let's say you just found out that the lamp is not working, or we need to find out that the lamp is not working. So in this case, we have to do something. We have to light the lamp to know if it's working or not. And so we are going to start. We're going to do the activity. And so start the lamp. And that you can see it is an activity or a process. And when you start the lamp, then you will come up with some results. And in this case, you will get data or the output after you have started the lamp. And so in this case, we can have this to show that lamp is not working. So that is input we get, or that's data. The lamp is not working. Now, if lamp is not working, then we need to make some decisions, and therefore we can connect this with some decision. So sometimes if you find the lamp is not working, you may think probably it is not plugged in, and therefore you need to screw it and make sure that it's well plugged in. But we need to ask that question: is the lamp plugged in? And in this case, we're going to use decision. And the question is lamp plugged in? So that's the question. And in this case, you may get two answers. And so the first one is nope or yes. So what if you find that the lamp is not plugged in? Plug it in. But if the lamp is plugged in, that means yes. So then why is it not working? So we can come up with another decision. Probably the lamp is burned. So we need to ask, is it burned? And in this case, we're going to use decision. And so we can say, is lamp burned out? That's the question. And in this case, we have two answers, yes or no. And therefore, here we can say yes, and also we can say no. Now, if the lamp is burned, what we should do? If the lamp is burned, obviously we're going to replace it. And so replacing is a process to replace the bulb. And so we're going to use this symbol, and therefore we can say replace it. And when you replace the bulb, because it's burned, then that means it's going to work. And all you can do is document. You can document the process to show that you have replaced the bulb, or the lamp. So document it. But if we find that the lamp is not burned, then, let's say it is expensive, we may do something else. Maybe can it be repaired? And if it can be repaired, so we are going to have an activity. That means we need to repair the lamp. And once you repair it, and if it works, then we can document. And after documenting this, then we can end the process. So let me repeat again very quickly. You can see that we have started the process, or the flowchart, to identify the problem that the lamp does not work. And so we just go and start, put the lights on or the lamp on, and then we find that the lamp is not working. And so we need to ask, is the lamp plugged in? If it's no, then we can plug in and probably it will work. If yes, it's plugged in and still the problem is there, then we can ask another question, that is the lamp burned out? And if it's yes, then we have to replace it and document it. Then if it's not burned out, can we repair the lamp? If it can be repaired, then we can document and finish the whole process. Also, we can actually join this meaning that if we have plugged in the lamp and if it's working, then we can document and end the process. So let's look at another example, and this one is about being late to school. You may have two alternatives. One is if you leave before 7 a.m., you can take a bus, and then you can arrive at school before 8 o'clock when classes start. But also, if you leave after 7 a.m., you may and take the bus, then you may miss your classes because the bus will not be able to arrive at school at 8 o'clock. And so you have to take another ride like Uber. And so let's take these two alternatives. We have either a decision to make to take a bus or to take Uber. And it all depends on the time. If it's before 7 a.m., you can take a bus. But if it's after 7 a.m., you have to take the Uber. And so the problem is you want to reach at school. So let's write that problem, going to school. So in this case, we can start. Remember, always we have to start the flowchart and end the flowchart. And so when the first thing that you can do is to prepare yourself to go to school. You can do a number of things like taking a shower, taking breakfast, and all those kind of things. We can group them together into the preparation. And after you have done all preparations, the next thing to do is to leave. But before you leave, then you have to make a decision. But before you make a decision, you need some information. And so in this case, we're going to check time. So you're going to check time to see if it is before 7 a.m. or after 7 a.m. And then we can make a decision of what should we do. And so in this case, we can use an arrow, and then we can use decision symbol to ask, is it before 7 a.m.? So if it's before 7 a.m., let's put this way. If it is before 7 a.m., meaning that we'd say we can put yes, so we can take a bus. We can take a bus. But if it's not, then we have to make a decision to take Uber. And in this case, the next thing is to arrive. If you take an Uber or if you take a bus, you will arrive. And in this case, then we can actually close, or we can end the process. So let me just explain this process. As we have said, you want to get to school, and it all depends on the time that you're going to leave. If you're leaving home before 7 a.m., you can take a bus. But if you leave home after 7 a.m., you have to take Uber, or you have to find a ride. And so to put this in a process or in a flowchart, then we can start, and then we do some preparations, and then we check time. That means it is an output. And then, we get data. And then we find out, is it before 7 a.m.? If yes, you can take a bus because you will arrive at school on time. And if it's no, then you can take Uber. And in this case, then you are going to arrive at school. And that is how we can solve this problem. You can make it a little bit more complicated, but simply this is how we create the flowchart for this problem. We are going to look at another example to create the flowchart based off any problem. And so far we have looked at 2 examples, and you can see that we created just simple flowcharts. You can actually make a little bit complicated flowchart by adding information that you may want to, or you can add something in a process. We're going to work on another example, which is ordering a book from Amazon. We have to start. Always the flowchart will have the starting point and ending point. And so we have to start and create an arrow that will connect to something else. And so we can enter the website. From the browser. That's the Amazon website. And then because we need to order the book, we need to find out if we are registered or not. And so we will use this symbol. Are we registered? And so in this case, we may have 2 outcomes. If we say yes, then that means we can sign in. And if it's no, then we can sign up. And after you have signed up, then you will need to sign in. And then in this case, you are going to go to the home page and search for the book, or search for the choice which you are looking for. And so let's put this on home page. Search your choice. And when you're looking at your choice, you can then select your preferred book. After selecting your preferred book, then you may make decisions, and decision will be to either buy the new book or maybe used. So here, buy new. And in this case, you may decide not, or you can say yes. So if you are not going to buy the new book, then you're going to select an old book. So that's an activity. And if you want to buy the new book, then you're going to select a new book. And once you have selected a new book or an old book, then the next thing is to add to the cart. and therefore you will add to the cart. So whether you selected the new or old book, the next process, you can do a number of things if you want to, but at this moment I will just add them to the cart. And then you can review your order and if you see your order is all set, you can enter the shipping information. And once you put the shipping information, then you can select how you're going to pay. The pay method. And in this case, you can check if your information is correct. So we can say, is the information correct? So then we may have yes or no. So if it's no, you can change your information. If it's yes, then you can place an order. And if you change your information, then you can place an order. And once you place an order, then you are all set, so you can end the process. So just in summary, you can see that we are ordering a book from Amazon. And so if that's the problem, then how can we go about the process of ordering the book? Can we create the flowchart for this? And so with our flowchart, we can start, and then the next step, we can enter the website from the browser. We could do something else. You can come up with some other processes, but I just keep a number of those. And so the question was to look if you are registered. If yes, then you can sign in. If no, you can sign up and then sign in. And then you can set your choice, select your preferred book, and now you can make a decision if you want to buy the new one or the old one. And then you select the book, you add to the cart, you review your order, you can enter shipping information, and then select the payment method. You look at your information if it's correct. If not, then change your information, and if yes, then you place an order, and you can end the process.